Bulls Nation, today we played our last game before the All-Star break, and it was against the New Orleans Pelicans. In this game, we played extremely well. We actually played very, very well, and for the most part, we should have blew this team away. However, a very, very nerve-wracking, very frustrating fourth quarter, especially towards the end, saw the Pelicans come very, very close. But just when it comes close enough, the Bulls managed to fight them off. So without further ado, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls versus the New Orleans Pelicans once again in this video. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show, and welcome back to another video. Today, we've got a Chicago Bulls versus New Orleans Pelicans game reaction. The second game between the New Orleans Pelicans and the Chicago Bulls. But the Chicago Bulls, with everything, they had to battle in that fourth quarter. They were up by so much in this game, and then they choked it in the fourth, but they did manage to hold on with the slightest of margins to pick up this victory against the New Orleans Pelicans. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this game. Who was your player of the game, and overall just how good the Chicago Bulls played today. Now, of course, when you see the scoreline, when you see the stats for the Chicago Bulls versus the Pelicans, you might think this game was very, very close throughout the entirety. This was not the case. The score for the Chicago Bulls was 128 to 124. The Bulls were up by nearly 20 points in the third quarter, and we nearly blew a 20-point lead by fouling the three-point shooters, fouling Zion Williamson, fouling in general. That was probably the biggest complaint I have to talk about with the Chicago Bulls today. We fouled a lot in this game. In the first quarter alone, within 8 minutes of the first quarter, the Bulls put the Pelicans in the bonus, which means that any time that we fouled after that, the Pelicans shot free throws. That is something that was absolutely frustrating to me. But throughout the entirety of the game, I thought the Bulls played extremely well. I thought we made our shots. I thought we moved the ball. I thought they couldn't stop the pick and roll, especially in the third and the second quarter. Zach LaVine and the Thaddeus Young pick and roll worked every single time. Zach LaVine got open, Thaddeus Young got open, and it's wonder why those two are definitely the better players in today's game, because they worked very, very well together. The bench today was absolutely sensational. The bench brought us to a very good standing point in this game once again. Thaddeus Young, Denzel Valentine had a great game, and that's why we got that long lead within the second and third quarters. Patrick Williams, someone else I wanted to talk about, was extremely aggressive. I really thought when Patrick Williams made the first 2 buckets for the Bulls, I think the first 3 buckets for the Bulls actually, I really thought this was the game where he was going to come out, score 20, 25 points and break out. And then he had those 2 fouls, which kind of stopped all that momentum. But of course, the Bulls played very, very well today in all areas. We didn't turn the ball over as much. The only real weakness we had was our fouling. Of course, when you have the scoring opportunities, making the 3-point shots, we crushed them in points in the paint. The rebounding in this game was absolutely elite from this team. We crushed them on the rebounds. For a team that has Steven Adams, Jackson Hayes, very good centers, Zion Williamson as well, we absolutely dominated them on the boards from what I'm seeing right now. And it's just great to see the Bulls have a game like this. And this is a game, another game that we expected to win. The Pelicans right now, they should have a better record than what they do at the end of the day. They have a very good starting lineup, and they have very good young bench players, and they have a scoring player in JJ Redick that played very well for them. Their 15-20 record should be a lot better than what it is. But unfortunately, in today's NBA, everybody seems to be struggling with their record. Whether they're a good team or a bad team, they're always around the same as the bad teams in the NBA. And that's what the Pelicans are right now. And the Bulls should have won this game. We should walk into this game expecting to win. And by hook or by crook, this is exactly what we did. We walked in and we won this game. This is the last time we will face the New Orleans Pelicans. 2 very entertaining games. We made history the first time we played them, and of course we beat them this time as well. So we are ending this series 2-0 against the New Orleans Pelicans, which is a fantastic way to end the series, especially against a team in the West. With that being said, let's go into the individual performance today. Let's talk about the great players that the Chicago Bulls had today, from the starting lineup to the bench. We're going to be talking about a lot of people tonight. First things first, let's talk about Garrett Temple. 8 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Garrett Temple this is a pretty standard game for Garrett Temple, to be honest. I like when he's playmaking a lot more than when he's not. When I see Garrett Temple get 4 assists, 3 assists, and actually moving the ball, I think he's a much better player. I think he gets a lot of people open. I think he's that type of veteran. He's a very intelligent veteran, in my opinion, and he can get his teammates open. And I kind of like it when he does that a lot more than just a scorer. But at the end of the day, he's been very, very solid for the Chicago Bulls throughout the entire season. Very, very few games where he struggled. And again, another standard game for Garrett Temple. Patrick Williams, 13 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. Again, I already spoke about Patrick Williams. I really, really thought that today would be the game, especially when it came out with a very aggressive start. I really thought today was going to be the game where he dropped 25, 26 points and really come out as a really, really good rookie in this league. Again, a very solid performance from Patrick Williams. He's doing it with efficiency and he's doing it very, very well. He had great blocks against Zion Williamson today. Zion Williamson is a fantastic player driving into the paint, but he does get his shot blocked sometimes, and Patrick Williams did a very good job defending him in that retrospect, despite Zion obviously having an amazing game. Zion was an all-star. Patrick Williams was guarding yet another all-star, and I thought he did decently in this game. Wendell Carter, 7 points, 4 assists, 15 rebounds for Wendell Carter. An elite rebounding game, and especially when you're doing it against a player like Steven Adams, which, to be honest, let's be real, Steven Adams hasn't been the same since he's left the OKC Thunder, but he's still an elite defender. He's still a guy that can get rebounds, and he can still beat you with screens and stuff like that. He's a very elite screener. These are the things that are positives with Steven Adams. But Wendell Carter absolutely dominated the boards against a player of the caliber of Steven Adams in today's game. Of course, scoring-wise, he was like, 3 from 11 or something like that. He wasn't terrific offensively. He did make a 3, I believe, in this game. And he also had a very clutch putback within the dying ends of the game where we were struggling to keep that lead. We kept fouling. Wendell Carter was a big part of that fourth quarter, keeping us in that game. So he stepped up when it mattered the most. Again, these are the type of things where you want to see your young players, especially the likes of Wendell Carter. You want to see your young players step up in those fourth quarters. Because at the end of the day, if we're going to see the future of Wendell Carter on this team, he needs to be able to play in the fourth quarter and play with efficiency. There's been a lot of times where Thaddeus Young comes into the fourth quarter and Wendell has to drop out. At the end of the day, if that's the future of the team, Wendell Carter Jr., if he's going to be the future of this team, if he's going to play as a power forward or a center, in those fourth quarters, he needs to be big. He needs to be a big defender, and he needs to be big in the offensive, in his offense as well. And I thought today was a good step for him, and hopefully he can continue that. Kobe White, 25 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. Not used to seeing Kobe White with 2 rebounds, but at the end of the day, the scoring for Kobe White was fantastic today. He had 4 threes. He got a 4-point play in today's game as well. He absolutely was very good offensively, and this has been the second time he's done this against the New Orleans Pelicans. He played very, very well. I think this is a very good confidence booster for Kobe White. He's been very, very good as of recently. I know we don't talk about it as much because Kobe White, we're used to seeing him struggle at times. But over recent games, he's really stepped up and he's really become that scoring punch for this team. Again, there's still a lot to work with Kobe White. At the end of the day, he's our point guard. He's getting good stats right now, and he's playing with confidence. And I want to see that continue throughout the whole season, because when Kobe White plays well, the Bulls will most likely win those games. So keep it up, Kobe White. Keep scoring and keep playing freely. Keep being aggressive. Keep attacking the paint and keep doing what you're doing, because I think this is the best Kobe White that we will see all season if he's that aggressive. Zach LaVine, 36 points, 8 assists, 2 rebounds for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine with 8 assists, of course, is very, very nice. You always like to see when Zach LaVine is playmaking, finding his way to get players open. I think offensively, Zach LaVine was an absolute monster. Obviously, 36 points and 8 assists is a fantastic scoreline. Absolutely fantastic. Of course, there's always going to be negatives with Zach LaVine as well. I believe he did give the ball away cheaply at times, and that's about it for me. At the end of the day, he also fouled a three-point shooter late. Can't be doing that with like 30 seconds left. Really brought this game closer than I wanted it to ever be. But with that being said, he did his thing. He did very well. And of course, he deserves the praise in today's game. Thaddeus Young, 18 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. Thaddeus Young took advantage of this team. At the end of the day, it took them into the fourth quarter to play a player like Jackson Hayes, someone that's athletic, someone that is a very tall center that can probably defend Thaddeus Young better than what anybody else could on this team. Once Steven Adams, or hell, even when Steven Adams was playing, no one could guard Thaddeus Young in that bench. It's as simple as that. No one could do it, and it was a big problem for the New Orleans Pelicans, stopping that pick and roll, stopping Thaddeus Young, stopping the points in the paint. And these are the things that the Bulls need to keep on doing. We need to take advantages of these things, especially against teams that don't know how to guard it. We are one of the best teams in terms of pick and roll offense. Zach LaVine, Thaddeus Young, Zach LaVine, Wendell Carter, any player with the pick and roll, it seems that that's where we get a lot of our success. Now, obviously, over time, we need to see more than just the pick and roll. I think we do see that at times on this team. But if they can't stop the pick and roll, it is one of the best plays to use in the NBA. It's a very simple play. It's a simple pick and roll. But sometimes the pick and roll is very unguardable for some teams. I think the Pelicans had to suffer through that today because they could not guard the pick and roll until the end of the fourth quarter, really. And that's where their comeback began. And the last player I'm going to talk about in detail was Denzel Valentine, who had 11 points and 4 rebounds in today's game. I thought Denzel Valentine really brought that scoring punch when he came on, especially the first time he came on. I thought he played very, very well today as well. The players that did play that I have not mentioned in full, I believe Satoransky, Daniel Gafford, Ryan Arcidiacono are the only players that did play that I have not mentioned. I should say Daniel Gafford really suited this game, and I'm really happy he played over Luke Cornett. So I thought we needed someone that was going to be a big body, especially a known rim protector in Daniel Gafford. I think he didn't play terrifically, Daniel Gafford, but I really thought he suited this game. So Billy Donovan did a hell of a job in his rotation in today's game as well. With that being said, let's go into the must improve. This is going to be tough. I really don't know who to target here. I'm thinking to myself, if I had to pick someone, who would I pick? It would probably be Satoransky. And this is definitely not a criticism of Satoransky, but at the end of the day, he was still playing in the same way as he's been playing pretty much the entirety of the season. He was very aggressive. The only difference between today and any other game was that the shots was not falling for him today. So that's the only really negative I could say. There's not something that it has to be improved upon. Of course, different games, players will shoot differently, players will miss shots, players will make shots. It's just how the game goes. But for Satoransky, next game, I want to see him still be aggressive. I want to see him still attack that paint. And I think more often than not, we'll see his shot fall down. And this is just one of those games where it did not. The player of the game is obviously Zach LaVine. We have 36 points and 8 assists. I think it's very straightforward that Zach LaVine is the player of the game today. There's been a few games where I've given it to different people recently, but Zach LaVine back with 36 points. Very, very good scoring effort from Zach LaVine. Absolutely dominated this team in the paint and dominated them in the three-point line as well. And the 8 assists, I truly did not know Zach LaVine had 8 assists until around the end of the third quarter. I think he had 7 or something like that, which was immense, absolutely immense to this team, those playmaking stats as well. 36 and 8 is an elite stat line for any player in the NBA. And when Zach LaVine does it, just because he's on the Bulls and he's on a negative team, no one gives him that credit. But obviously the Bulls gives him that credit. And soon enough, I believe the NBA will give Zach LaVine his credit. Beyond just the All-Star. Of course, he's an All-Star and that's credit well deserved. But I think even beyond that, we'll see more credit given to Zach LaVine. The Bulls record is 16 and 18. We end this, I guess, first half of the season with a 16 and 18 record, which is honestly very good considering where we were last season. You have to be mindful of where we were last season to where we are this season and the progress we have made. I know we're still on a negative record. I know we're still fighting for a playoff spot. And in the end, there's a chance we might not get that playoff spot. But there needs to be value in the progression that we've made throughout the entirety of the first half of the season. I think the best way to say this is look where we were last season with half of the season to go. Granted, it is 82 games. Look at where we were last season. Look where we are this season. And I think you can see the big improvement within the halfway point of the season. Now, we've got a very tough second half of the season, but that is something that we're going to have to worry about over a week's time because we've got the All-Star break coming up for the Chicago Bulls. So it's going to be a time to, I guess, relax, take it easy, enjoy the All-Stars, and let's see what will happen with the Chicago Bulls in the second half of the season. Let's see if we will come back ready to go, firing on all cylinders, beating tough teams, beating teams we're expected to beat, and let's see if we can make that playoff push a reality within the second half of the season. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. The next game that we have, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, it's against Philly. So yeah, that's going to be quite some time away. The 12th of March for me, the 11th of March for you guys. So yeah, have a wonderful and safe day. I'll see you then. I'll keep making Bulls videos, don't you worry. And of course, when the All-Star game happens, Zach LaVine's in the three-point contest, I believe, as well. We've got some things to watch about in the All-Star break. Be happy. We actually have incentives to watch this year. So let's keep it going and let's have a good time during this All-Star break. Take care and peace.